Hi, I'm Yvette Taylor, and today we're going to make a quick and easy meal called Dukkah Crusted Rack of Lamb. This is a really simple dish. You can have it any time of year. It's very healthy, and it can go with just about anything. It can go with roasted vegetables, it could go with a fresh summer salad, and it doesn't take a long time to make at all. So you can even prep it right before your dinner party, and it only takes about 20 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a rack of lamb. We have this gorgeous New Zealand rack of lamb, and usually they come in packages of about 8 per package. So what I've done here is I've separated them into 4 pieces each. And the ingredients are very simple. We're going to use, of course, Dukkah, which is an aromatic nut and spice blend. It's a blend of toasted nuts and spices and sesame seeds that have been roasted and ground and blend together. And what I've done is I've taken it a step further, and I've actually added some chopped fresh herbs. So I've got some parsley and some tarragon and some fresh sage. And then here I have some Greek yogurt. And what we're going to do with the Greek yogurt is we're actually going to marinate the lamb. And you're probably wondering why we're going to marinate it in yogurt rather than a vinegar or a citrus type of marinade that you typically do for meat. Well, historically, a lot of lamb especially, and a lot of meats are actually marinated in either buttermilk or yogurt. And there's a reason for that. Milk-based products have a naturally occurring lactic acid, and so they're actually mildly acidic, where a vinegar and a citrus are really very acidic. And what happens is if you take a tender piece of meat like this beautiful lamb and you marinate it for too long in a citrus or a vinegar-based marinade, it's actually going to toughen the meat. And sometimes if you take it a step further, it'll actually make it mushy. So if that's ever happened to you, you know what I'm talking about. You go and you cut into it and you think, that you've overcooked the lamb when actually it's not overcooked. It's just been toughened by the marinade. So the Greek yogurt is actually a really nice way to marinate meat, and it's one step. You don't have to mix a lot of ingredients together. You just have to get a full-fat, plain Greek yogurt. And I like to use Greek because it has more of the naturally live occurring cultures where a lot of the yogurts today in the States have too much sugar. So what we're going to do is we're going to just cover the lamb rack in the Greek yogurt. Now you can do this with your hands or you could do it with a brush. And then you're going to marinate it in the refrigerator, and you can even do it overnight. Or you can do it for as little as an hour. And it's not going to over-marinate the meat, as I was saying. It's not going to toughen it. So you want to get all sides of the meat. And go ahead and be generous. And you'll see, especially if you leave it overnight, when you go back to get it, it's actually going to absorb all of the yogurt, and it makes it really nice and tender. Then you don't have to worry about cleaning off the meat or, a meat marinade that gets mixed in with your cooked product. It's very simple. So there we go. So then that is going to go into the refrigerator for at least an hour. Okay, so now my lamb has marinated for an hour, and I've taken it out of the refrigerator. So it's time to crust it in the Dukkah crust, and I've got my oven preheated to 400 degrees. Now it's going to go into the oven for about 25 minutes or so. And when cooking lamb, you want it to be about 145 degrees Fahrenheit for medium rare, which is a nice temperature for the lamb rack, because it's best when it's a little bit pink in the middle and it's very tender. So what you do is, it's always a good idea to use a thermometer, either a meat thermometer or a digital thermometer like this one. And what you're going to do is you're going to test it and look for 130 degrees, right around 130 degrees, no less. Because once you pull the meat out of the oven at 130 degrees, you're going to let it rest for about 8 minutes or so, or even longer. And what's going to happen is the temperature of the meat internally is going to rise about another 10 degrees, to 15 degrees even. So that's going to bring you right to medium rare, where you want to be to serve your lamb. So we are simply going to take the lamb rack, and we've got the Dukkah crust here in a dish, in a shallow dish, which makes it easy to crust. And we're just going to take the meat side. This is the fat side here, the back, and the top side here is the meat. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the meat side and we're going to just dunk it right into the dukkah. And if you want, you can go to the back side and you can also go to the sides. And then it's that simple. Then you've got this gorgeous nut-crusted, flavorful, herbaceous rack of lamb. And then it goes into the oven, again, at 400 degrees for about 25 minutes. So in about 20 minutes, we're going to check the internal temperature. So I've taken my lamb rack out of the oven, and we're right at an internal temperature of 130 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it right here and let it rest for about 10 minutes. So our lamb has rested for 10 minutes and it's cooled off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it right down the middle, and then I'm going to serve it on a plate with a fresh salad. So all you have to do is you have to hold the rack of lamb up, and with a knife you're just going to gently go right down the center. And you can see on the inside it's nice and tender and pink, and we have this gorgeous dukkah crust on the outside with the fresh herbs. So I'm just going to plate that right there with my fresh salad, and it's as simple as that. You have a quick and easy dukkah crusted rack of lamb with a fresh summer salad.